basic expenses, transportation, living, just general bills that almost everyone has to pay, insurance. You know, you have to make probably at least $5,000 a month, like after tax, to really have any amount of savings. And then even then, you're not really doing that well. And if you have a kid or a wife or a, you know, husband, whatever, that is like somewhat dependent on your income, I mean, you are literally, you have no buffer for messing up. I mean, I feel like I just need to wake up. It's like a bad dream. Everyone's wearing masks and wearing masks and scared to be around each other, and the news media, I guess, you know, obviously makes it worse. They just reinforce the idea that everyone's getting sick and everyone's, like, you know, should stay inside, which I still don't understand why they do that. I mean, I think there's long-term effects of having all these things shut down for a long time. I mean, people were already kind of headed towards buying stuff online, and commercial real estate was pretty much dying, besides like restaurants. I mean, just because people, you know, restaurants and like barbershops and more service oriented stuff that people have to do, like, that'll probably still always be around, because you can't get a haircut online. You know, maybe one day you'll be able to, but yeah, I mean, like JCPenney, like there's a Macy's over here, or I think it's a Macy's, but they closed, and they closed, I think maybe it was even before COVID, because it's a dying business. It's no different than like Blockbuster and Netflix, and I always look at another, like GameStop, the video game store. It's no different than Blockbuster. It's just video games, right? And then you add the fact that now people can't even go into your store anymore because they're uncomfortable about getting sick, or you know, whatever it is. It's going to be very bad, right? Their business model was already dying. It's only going to be accelerated by the fact that now people are forced to buy stuff online. And maybe people, like even myself, I always said, hey, I actually kind of like going to touch something and see it, and like just see what the price is, and like look at things like with my own two eyes. But I never really bought stuff online. But now, you know, I've bought a lot of games and stuff and other stuff just online without going to a store. Don't have to leave my house. Even this place shut down, Ducati, so all their logos and stuff still here, but motorcycle shop, they shut down. I don't think that has anything to do with the internet. I just think their brand is way too expensive. I don't know if they moved, but no one's buying a fucking Ducati. I mean, I can tell you that much. In a recession, no one's buying a Ducati. You're lucky to have people that even like want to ride motorcycles. This is the Macy's right here. Okay, this store shut down. This was a Macy's. There's, you know, and then you think to yourself, that's a big commercial space, right? Who's gonna want to fill that? You know, residential, or I mean, yeah, apartment homes like this right here. This looks more like an apartment home. People have to live somewhere, right? They have to have a place to sleep and to go to the bathroom and to rest their head at night. But going to shop for stuff that you don't need, you know, it's going to be very hard to fill that space. Office space was already going down. Retail space is on a serious decline. But what is all this, you know, what is all this space going to be turned into? Because it's becoming pretty clear that people don't put a lot of value on, you know, having to go somewhere anymore. There's another thing. Food, I think, will be okay. Grocery stores, but even this place right here. Here's another one. Pier 1 Imports. I just don't think they're gonna, you know, that type of business. Just I don't think is gonna really exist. 24-hour fitness. There's another one. They just filed bankruptcy. I'm pretty sure. Not hard to believe that. I mean, I'm sure things weren't rosy for them before this whole thing, but now you shut down all their stores for 5 months. I mean, what are they supposed to do? They have no income. They have all these locations where the overhead still is, you know, it's a fixed amount of overhead. You rented the space on a 5-year lease or a 10-year lease because it's a commercial lease, and they fuck you 8 ways to Sunday on those, and you're locked in to pay this for whatever, 7 years, 5 years, whatever it is, and they can't do it, right? So that's the situation a lot of these guys are in. I think the O'Reilly Auto Parts, they'll probably be okay. Shucks and Auto Parts. Designer Shoe Warehouse, I don't know. Ross will probably be okay just because it's a cheap clothing solution. Grocery stores, like I said, probably will be alright. But a lot of these business models, I mean, they look a lot less attractive once they're compared to, one-click shopping and not leaving your house and getting cheaper prices, just shopping online. So yeah, it's a unique time in our history, definitely. I mean, again, it really just feels like a movie to me, not something you actually go through. But I will say I did watch the movie Contagion, and I saw it like whenever it came out 9 years ago. I saw it in theaters, and I was like, wow, that's kind of it's an interesting thing. I'm like, could that really happen, right? Matt Damon was in it, and his family, like within the first 20 minutes, basically was like dead. And one of his daughters, I think, or one of his sons, and his wife was like dead immediately because she was the first one to get this disease. And that disease was way worse than the one we have. I mean, I think 20% of people or something like died in that movie because people would, if they had the virus or whatever it was, they would, they would like visibly get incredibly sick very quickly. Like within a few days, they would be throwing up and like dying, and that was something, just as like random. It was like some pig. Someone ate a pig that wasn't cleaned properly or had some virus from some other animal, I think it was from an Asian country, probably China. And the woman, ate the pig, got it, and started spreading because she was in a casino, and she started spreading it to just a bunch of other people. And it's something that starts off so small, and like you don't think anything would happen from that, right? But she gets it. She interacts with thousands of other people in a casino. Those people in the casino interact with thousands of other people in their life respectively, and before you know it, you have millions and millions of people, and now they're, a few of those people are going to other countries. But it's just like a doubling effect, like every second, because you don't have to be in close proximity, I guess, with these people to maybe get the bug, right? You have it, and then you can transmit it to other people, and a certain percentage of those people literally will die from it. So hopefully something like that never happens. I mean, from what I can tell from this virus, like, there hasn't been a lot of people that have really died. Like 135,000 people in the United States, in the grand scheme of things, is not that many people. It's a very small percentage of our population. I'm not saying that it's not bad, because definitely that's, it's not good that people are dying from something that could have been avoided, right? Or it's not like a gunshot or someone dying from an accident. It's kind of like a random thing where they get exposed to something and their body breaks down and they die. But it's still not something like a movie where like people are dead in the streets. Like you're walking in the streets and you see like people just like falling over because of how deadly it is. That's not the, I don't think that's the case. So again, I'm not a doctor, obviously. I mean, I don't have I have my own opinion, which is that's all it is. It's just an opinion. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just saying it's kind of my own internal thoughts on the whole thing. And I think a lot of older people, which makes sense, hey, it's not something that's so bad that it's going to kill people that have really strong immune systems or who are, you know, just in better physical and they're in a better condition, you know, with their health. It seems like it's something that is a little bit more susceptible to people who, hey, they're already a little bit compromised, you know, they're kind of on their way out already, meaning, you know, they're 70 something years old, they're not in the best health, you know, and they get exposed to this thing and their body can't fight it as well as other people. And you see it all the time, you know, you flip on the news, oh, this NBA player has the virus, but they would have never known, right? Because they're young and they're totally asymptomatic, I think is the word. I mean, they have it, but they have no symptoms, right? They're not sick, they don't feel tired, they feel totally like they did, you know, every single day of their life. They just feel normal because it's not really affecting them the same way. But